Did you know that the Tudors ate cucumbers? We are going to be exploring a recipe called a pudding in a cowcumber from the year 1584, but it's rather different to the way that we now eat cucumbers. Cucumbers actually are a vine fruit, and they originated from what we now know is India. They arrived in Britain around the 14th century, and then by the 16th century they appear in recipes for pickling, salads, and, like our cooked dish, a pudding in a cowcumber. So I'm initially going to just take the end off. I'm going to remove the flesh from the cucumber with what we think might be a Tudor apple corer. But you could also use a disposable knife. This actually works very effectively. I am leaving some of the flesh on the outside of the cucumber. This is just so that it doesn't disintegrate in the later stages of the recipe. The main ingredient is lamb's liver. So I'm just going to chop up the liver. It may seem pretty unappealing to us that this recipe calls for liver, but in the Tudor period, all classes of people ate organ meats like liver, heart, and kidneys. They also thought that it was pretty good for you, and they weren't actually wrong. Liver is full of iron, protein, and a great source of vitamin B12 and vitamin A. The Tudors really enjoyed using spices in their cookery. They were incredibly expensive, so if you could afford to use spices, it was a way to show off your wealth and status. I'm adding the peppercorns and also the cloves, mace, and salt. Mix this together. Add chopped grapes to the liver. This may seem pretty bizarre to us that we're adding a fresh and sweet fruit to a savoury dish, but the Tudors really enjoyed the sweet and savoury combination. Add egg yolks and suet to the pudding mixture. These ingredients are going to help combine the mixture, and they also add a depth and richness of flavour. Next, add breadcrumbs. So this just helps bulk out the pudding mixture. Many recipes from this period don't give quantities or measurements. I've tried this recipe a couple of times, so I've got a pretty good idea how much of each ingredient I am using. The next step of this recipe is to fill our cowcumber with the pudding mixture. Henry VIII actually ate cucumbers. They appear around 6 times in his Privy Purse accounts from the year 1529 until 1532. Jane Seymour, Henry VIII's third wife and queen, ate cucumbers while pregnant with the future Edward VI. I wonder if she was experiencing pregnancy cravings. Now that I've stuffed the cucumbers, I'm going to be cooking them in the lamb's broth. Advice from the time warns against eating raw salads and fruits like cucumbers. Beware of green salads and raw fruits, for they will make your sovereign sick. At the time, the Tudors believed in the theory of the 4 humours, and they thought that foods had certain properties that could either imbalance or balance your humours. So cucumbers had cold and wet properties. So in an already cold and wet climate like Britain, they could make you ill. So maybe that's why in this recipe we are cooking the cucumber. Cover the pan and let the cucumbers simmer until the liver is cooked through. The recipe calls for butter to be added to the cowcumbers and also vinegar. So, there we have it, pudding in a cowcumber. It doesn't really look that appealing. I will admit I've never tried a cooked cucumber before. I think I'm going to get some brave volunteers to come and try this cucumber with me.
Hello.
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 And thank you for volunteering to try my pudding in a cowcumber.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We get to try a little bit of history. So.
I don't like how it comes out like that.
No.
Shall I go first?
Yes.
In for a penny, in for a pound, eh? I actually really like it.
I'll go next. Okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Right, now the cook has to try it.
I think the worst bit is the vinegar. I think you can really taste it. But I like the cucumber as well. It gives it a nice crunch and it takes away from the taste of the liver, which is quite nice, I think.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you. There we have it, a pudding in a cowcumber, a Tudor recipe from the year 1584. So let us know if you try this at home. It's not actually as bad as you think.